Here we go again. Another flash flood threat developing across central and eastern Kentucky. I'm tracking rounds of drenching rains from thunderstorms just ahead.
2 Bell County inmates are facing new charges after the jailer says they attacked 2 officers during an escape attempt, sending them to the hospital.
Another day of debate at the South Carolina State Capitol about removing the Confederate flag. I'm Don Champion in Columbia with the latest coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Jennifer Palumbo. After a brief break yesterday, storms are back in the bluegrass and some are strong. So we've declared a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Here's a live look at Triangle Park in downtown Lexington, which is seeing rain this afternoon. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking the threat. And Chris, this is a sign of things to come in Lexington.
Yeah, it really is, Jennifer. We've got rounds of thunderstorms that are lined up to our west. Flash flood watch is out for all of central and eastern Kentucky through Wednesday afternoon and evening. What we're seeing right now on Defender, we've had a scattering of showers and storms into central and eastern Kentucky already. Now look what is coming into parts of central Kentucky. This is a big time round of some heavier rains that is moving into the waterlogged bluegrass region. Some steadier rains have been falling this afternoon across parts of the Lexington metro. Now we're getting in on a stronger thunderstorm or two from just to the south of Frankfort in Franklin County through most of Anderson County, and then right on top of the Bluegrass Parkway. Leading edge of this will be into Versailles very shortly, but Versailles, we've already got a little thunder and lightning coming over top of us from a lone wolf cell that is ahead of this line of thunderstorms that stretches back to the southwest, to the north of Springfield, around the Willisburg area. Mercer County had flooding issues last week. We'll keep an eye on that as it makes its way on in. And behind that, look at all the heavy rains falling for the Louisville metro area. Some areas there have picked up better than an inch of water so far. I mentioned that we're tracking several rounds of thunderstorms. Check out the band across parts of central Kentucky. Now, another one coming in behind that. We can expand this view out a little more and show you stuff that goes all the way back into parts of Oklahoma and Texas. And the old pipeline of moisture is set up now, so it's going to arc its way back across parts of Kentucky as we go into tonight and tomorrow. That is why, Jennifer, we're tracking the potential for another 1 to 3 inches of rain with locally higher amounts over roughly the next 24 hours. Obviously, that's going to lead to an increased flash flood threat. The very latest on Defender as we continue to track the storms into the metro coming up in 15 minutes.
We'll see you then, Chris. New at 4, investigators say alcohol and speed were factors in a crash that killed a central Kentucky mother. Michelle Rosas was killed in a crash about 11:30 this morning on Long Lick Pike in Scott County, about 6 miles from US 25. Scott County Coroner John Goebel tells WKYT Rosas was driving with her 2 children when the crash happened. He says both children were strapped into car seats and they were not hurt. As a precaution, they were taken to the hospital to be checked out. We're tracking the investigation into a violent escape attempt at a southeastern Kentucky jail. Christopher Dixon and Kenneth Williams are accused of using broom handles to beat 2 corrections officers at the Bell County Detention Center. WKYT's Victor Puente has the latest in our top story at 4.
The jailer here is crediting his employees for taking quick action once that escape attempt began. 2 of those officers had to be taken to the hospital after that attack. Bell County jailer Gary Ferguson says the attempt started around 9:30 after an inmate was taken to the hospital. Soon after, another inmate was being moved within the jail. He says Sergeant John Parton and Officer Valerie Brock had opened a cell door when they were rushed and attacked. He says the 2 men responsible, Christopher Dixon and Kenneth Williams, had hidden broken broom handles in their cell and used them to attack the jail employees. He says they took Parton's pepper spray and used it on the officers. A 3rd employee, Amy Webb, was in the control room, and Ferguson says Christopher Dixon used a jail radio to contact her, telling her he would kill one of the other officers if she didn't open the jail doors. She refused his demand and called police, who were there within minutes.
You know, it's very fast thinking and, very using composure, and that's what, good officers do. In bad situations, should be at their best, and I have to say these 3 officers were definitely at their best.
Williams was in jail on a robbery charge, Dixon for attempted murder. Both men face new charges: a first-degree escape, assaulting a corrections employee, promoting contraband, and unlawful imprisonment. In Bell County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Both officers have since been released from the hospital. Ferguson says they have video of the attack, but the Commonwealth's attorney has asked them not to release it. A member of the Kentucky Army National Guard helped a fellow guardsman get his stolen car back. Major Travis Huber was in Frankfort for training when someone stole his car. It turned up in a driveway this morning. Since it had a National Guard license plate, the man who found it asked his neighbor, who is also a National Guardsman, if he knew whose car it is. The neighbor didn't, so he did some investigating and figured out the car belonged to Major Huber.
Glad to be a member of the Kentucky Army National Guard family. That's what we've always done. We take care of each other, and we're going to continue to do that.
He says the thief took several guns and a computer from the car. Huber is also the Gallatin County Schools superintendent. We'll have more from him on WKYT News at 5. We're working on a number of other stories for WKYT starting at 4:30. Amber Philpott is in the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Amber.
Good afternoon to you, Jennifer. Vandalism at a church has deputies in southern Kentucky investigating. They say vandals tried to burn it down, but the rainy weather might have saved the church from causing even more damage. Deputies in Laurel County say they received a call about vandalism at the Mount Carmel Christian Church on Sunday. They said the church's sign was spray painted with the words "Wild Boys" and other symbols. The exterior walls were also spray painted, and several burn marks were found on the back of the building.
There's a lot of bad things that happen in our society, but churches, that's really probably the worst of the worst.
Deputies tell us they do have some leads in this case, but they are still asking for tips from the public. We'll have the latest in this case on WKYT News at 4:30. A new report from the Department of Defense shows that obesity is the leading medical reason why most young adults in Kentucky and nationwide can't serve in the military. Retired generals from Kentucky presented the information today at Lexington Southern Middle School. The generals, who are members of the security organization Mission Readiness, believe childhood obesity can best be combated with school nutrition. The hope is that habits formed by students at lunchtime will transfer into how they eat at home.
Just the quality of life for an individual, a family, and as that influences the ability of our armed forces to recruit and retain good, healthy soldiers.
Even though school is out, lawmakers in Washington are considering changes to the National School Lunch Program. You're going to hear more on this issue on WKYT News at 4:30. That is a look at just some of the news in progress. Jennifer, back to you.
Thanks, Amber. Now to stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Federal and state authorities have raided the Indiana home of longtime Subway sandwich spokesman Jared Fogle. Agents were seen removing electronics from the home today in Zionsville. It's not clear why agents are at Fogle's home, but the raid comes months after the then executive director of Fogle's Jared Foundation was arrested on child pornography charges. Fogle has not been arrested. We'll have reaction from Subway and Fogle's lawyer on WKYT News at 5. Newly released court documents show Bill Cosby admitted to giving sedatives to at least one woman who accused him of sexual assault. The comedian admitted he obtained Quaaludes with the intent of giving them to young women he wanted to have sex with. Cosby said this in a sworn deposition he gave a decade ago in a civil suit filed by one of the women who accused Cosby of sexual assault. More than 24 women have publicly accused the 77-year-old star of sexual misconduct. South Carolina House lawmakers will now debate a bill that would permanently remove the Confederate flag from the grounds of the state capitol. This comes after the state Senate overwhelmingly voted to bring it down. Don Champion has the latest from Columbia, South Carolina.
The Confederate flag still flies outside South Carolina's state capitol while lawmakers debate whether it should come down.
Mr. Bright.
State senators gave final approval this morning to remove it, but the bill must still be debated and voted on in the House. Reverend Jesse Jackson visited protesters calling for the flag's removal Monday night. Today, he's meeting with the governor to talk about moving forward.
There's a lot of hate left, but there's more hope and healing.
The debate here is not just about the Confederate flag. The fate of the pole it flies on is also in question. Most Democrats want the pole down, while some Republicans are calling for a different flag on it.
It's about heritage, and it's about honoring over 300,000 Southern Americans who bled and gave their lives.
Governor Nikki Haley promises to sign the bill if and when it reaches her desk. Don Champion, CBS News, Columbia, South Carolina.
Debate over the flag reignited after 9 churchgoers were shot to death during a Bible study in Charleston last month. The accused killer appeared in photos holding the Confederate flag. Tonight in Lexington, there will be a town hall style forum to talk about the city's history with slavery and Confederate symbols. Last month, someone vandalized a downtown statue of Confederate leader John Hunt Morgan. Tonight's forum will focus on what should be done with that statue and other controversial symbols like it. The meeting begins at 6 tonight at the Carnegie Center.